Today we discuss about mission of former Senator Mushtaq Ahmad Khan. They told him to be careful. They warned him that the sea was dangerous, that the mission could end badly. They told him his presence would cause headlines, and they were right. Former Senator Mushtaq Ahmad Khan sailed with ordinary people and activists on a mission built on one simple but timeless idea: to carry food, medicine, and witness to people in desperate need. When the flotilla was intercepted and he was detained, the world watched. Dawn reported the arrest, and headlines spread across international media. But this is not a story about confrontation. It's a story about courage, conscience, and the hard choices that shape history. We live in an age where images travel faster than policy, where a single ship can spark debate across continents and a single voice can awaken millions. The Times of India highlighted how quickly the news spread, igniting discussion far beyond borders. And here lies the lesson. Leadership isn't only the loudest voice in the room. Leadership is the person who shows up when it matters, even when the odds are stacked against them. Leadership is the one who chooses to carry water to the thirsty, to raise a placard for the voiceless, to speak truth to power when silence would be easier. Because morality is not abstract. It is not a theory debated in classrooms. When people starve, speeches do not fill empty stomachs. When access to medicine is blocked, no slogan can heal a child's wounds. The mission of humanitarian delegations is simple and ancient: relieve suffering. That is why people risk comfort, reputation, and even safety. Not to escalate conflict, but to remind the world of a fundamental truth that human life is the only currency that must never be devalued. Think for a moment about the people you admire most. Were they people who waited for the perfect conditions? Or were they people who took imperfect tools, imperfect means, and used them for humane ends? That is what we saw with this flotilla. Ordinary people making extraordinary choices. They did not go with weapons, they went with aid. They did not sail to provoke a fight, they sailed to provoke conscience. Geo News captured their story, showing images of activists carrying boxes of medicine and flour instead of flags of war, and that is bravery in its purest form. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to move forward in spite of fear. If you want to be part of change, you don't have to wait for a ship or a headline. You can start now. Volunteer at your local food bank. Donate to verified humanitarian organizations. Sign petitions that press for humanitarian corridors. Call your representatives and demand diplomacy. Courage grows when you make it routine. One call, one donation, one meal, one step repeated becomes unstoppable momentum. And here is a truth we must never forget. If we believe in dignity, then our methods must reflect dignity. Non-violence is not weakness. It is the strongest weapon of moral force. When people act visibly, peacefully, and with compassion, they shift public opinion, they create pressure on governments, they make inaction intolerable. They force institutions to answer the question, which side of history are you on? And history is clear. It favors those who win hearts and minds, not those who win battles alone. Real leadership today means holding multiple truths at once. It means feeling righteous anger at injustice, but channeling that anger into life-affirming action. It means using diplomacy, legal pressure, humanitarian logistics, and media to save lives. It means supporting activists who put their bodies on the line for aid. It means pushing for sustainable solutions that end cycles of violence once and for all. That is the leadership the world is waiting for. So here's what you can do right now. Verify and donate to reputable humanitarian groups that provide medical aid and food. Share only verified eyewitness reporting. spread truth, not unverified rumors. Contact UN elected officials and urge them to support humanitarian access and ceasefire. Join or organize peaceful solidarity events in your community. Each of these actions is a vote for human life over hostility, a vote for dignity over despair. When one person steps forward, others follow. When conscience becomes collective, policies change. Brave acts of compassion have toppled walls in the past and they will do so again. If you feel inspired by those who sail to deliver aid, channel that inspiration into action, persistent, non-violent, life-affirming action. Stand for life, stand for law, stand for dignity. That is how we save lives and shape a future worth celebrating. If this message moved you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with others. Donate to verified humanitarian relief organizations, and comment below with one action you'll take this week to stand for life. Together, our small acts become the tide that lifts the world.